Valkyr's rework is what made me try her, believe it or not. Seriously though, she can solo the Tekrot Babao head-on without dying. I intentionally let this Tekrot Babao spawn at around the 10-minute mark. This is Steel Path Hell Scrub by the way, with the Scaldra shooting at her. And as if that wasn't enough, Malice also joins in and uses Magnetize. Despite of that, Valkyr melted both of them without even using her claws. And that's because her build is inspired by the First Descendant or TFD. TFD is a Warframe-like game that recently added a katana weapon, and so this build uses a Nikana instead of her claws. Given how good Valkyr's claws are, I know that's stupid. Despite being so, the build can solo Steel Path Lua Survival. Lua Survival may reward Endo and Relics with Prime Warframe parts. As shown earlier, the build can solo Steel Path Holvania Survival. Holvania is generally considered as one of the best farms in Warframe. The build can also solo Steel Path Murmur Survival without dying. Murmur Survival may reward credits and Archgun parts. The build can also solo Steel Path Kuva Fortress Survival. Kuva Fortress Survival may reward Harrow's Neuroptics and Systems. By the way, if you want Valkyr to move in with you, scratch the subscribe button now. Anyway, this build uses all of the abilities of Valkyr. The passive ability of Valkyr is Rage. Melee attacks increases Rage that at 150% will prevent death and fully heal Valkyr. And so, this build uses Rage for survivability. Ripline is Valkyr's first ability. Valkyr fires a grappling hook and pulls herself towards the enemy that it hits. Nearby enemies also get pulled, and Valkyr will automatically attack the group with melee. In the First Descendant, it's like the combination of the grappling hook and toe effect. Valkyr's second ability is called Warcry. With Warcry, Valkyr screams and buffs her armor and attack speed. This build uses Warcry to increase the speed of Ripline's automatic melee attack. Paralysis is the third ability of Valkyr. Valkyr releases a wave that slows enemies and makes them more vulnerable to melee. This build uses Paralysis for crowd control and damage. Finally, I replaced Valkyr's Hysteria ability with Roar. Roar increases the damage of all abilities and weapons. Like I said earlier, I know this is a bad idea considering how strong Valkyr's claws are. I only did this because a cat told me so. This is the Valkyr build. Corrosive Projection is the aura mod. This is to compensate for not having an ability, weapon, or companion that can strip armor. I have Prime Sure-Footed. Since I don't have Hysteria's anti-knockdown, I also don't have the high damage claws, so I buffed Strength with the highlighted Arcane and mods. Transient Fortitude shortens duration, so I countered that with Continuity. The primed version couldn't fit anymore, and I didn't want to Forma again just for that. Meanwhile, my energy efficiency was decreased by Blind Rage, and so I have the highlighted mods and Arcane to help maintain energy. Finally, in order to extend the reach of Ripline and Paralysis, I also have the Overextended mod. As for Archon Shards, I have 3 reds for more ability strength. Then, I have 2 yellows to speed up the casting of abilities, especially Roar. My weapon is a Nikana Zaw, whose parts are highlighted on screen. I named it Shadow, just like the katana in the First Descendant. I can use the Exodia Force Arcane since I am using a Zaw. On status effect, it has a 50% chance of dealing additional damage within 6 meters, and so it helps nuke enemies that are pulled together by Ripline. Meanwhile, I also have the Melee Influence Arcane. If Shadow triggers an electric status effect, it has a chance of spreading status effects. And so, it also helps nuke enemies that are pulled together by Ripline. Both Arcanes rely on status effects, so most of the mods buff status chance. I also have Shocking Touch to increase the chances of electric and melee influence. To further increase the chances of triggering the arcanes, I'm using Tranquil Cleave. It makes Valkyr automatically stab several times right after Rip Line, so that's like several attempts at applying status effects and activating the arcanes. Then I have Primed Pressure Point for more damage. Finally, the Tenokai mod is just because I like the visual effects. The companion in this build is the Huras Kubrow. I named him after the Fellows of TFD. Fellows build has Synth, Deconstruct, and Duplex Bond to help with energy. I frequently cast abilities because my ability duration is low. That uses a lot of energy because efficiency is also low. But that also makes Duplex Bond create clones that can drop energy orbs. And so, ability casting and energy generation feed into each other. The clones also remain active even if Fellow is downed. But Fellow is rarely downed because of Enhanced Vitality and Pack Leader. Pack Leader heals and provides overguard when I hit with my Nikana. Meanwhile, I also buffed Fellow's damage by using Hunter mods. The Hunt mod also deals damage, but in a funnier way. With it, Fellow drags enemies and damages everything in his path. As for Mecha Recharge, I am using it mainly to help spread status effects. Finally, the remaining mods are just fillers. The build for Fellow's Claws uses the Assassin Posture mod. This is to help against Eximus, overguarded enemies, and field bosses. Then, I increased critical chance and damage by using the Bite mod. For even more damage, I also have Precision Conditioning. I also have the highlighted mods to increase the damage further. They increase status chance too, but not much in the case of Huras Kubros. Finally, the claws also have Hunter and Mecha mods, just like Fellow himself. This increases the effects of the Hunter and Mecha set mods. So, those are the builds. And this is how I play them. I keep Roar active to buff my other abilities, my Kubrow and my Nikana. Then, I do Warcry so that Rip Line's automatic melee attack is faster. But before I do Rip Line, I do Paralysis first to make enemies more vulnerable. After all that, I finally do Rip Line, which usually nukes enemies. If it doesn't, I just try again. As for the Thrax, I shoot them with Sirocco while their ghost consumes others. Finally, I just rinse and repeat everything. Besides the playstyle and build, the fashion is also inspired by TFD. To cosplay the First Descendant, just remove as much stuff as you can. Then, you color with skin tone by using the Ember Heirloom palette. For my Nikana, I'm using the Ryu skin from the Ash Koga skin bundle. As for Fellow, he has the Nura fur pattern and the Slogi armor. And there we have it. Thanks for watching this Warframe build and fashion video. For suggestions or questions, just let me know in the comments below.
The sentient is on to you. Look out for troopers.